So this is Verba GPT. This is Verba is my writing team's name. Verba is Latin for words, and GPT because why not? Everything's GPT nowadays. Uh, so what we see here is my interface that I wrote in Streamlit. And right now we're just doing chat, and we could do something like, what is Skyflow? And I do this because you can see that the response is going to be knowledgeable about Skyflow itself. So it's going to be a different response than you might get from other models that have been included Skyflow or as much about Skyflow in its training data set. And so here we can see, oh, hey, Skyflow is data privacy platform, does all sorts of stuff, but we have SDKs, including Android, iOS, yada, yada, yada. All that list is accurate. It's not hallucinated. We can indeed help with GDPR, HIPAA, PCI DSS, and all of this is informed by what Skyflow can do because it's pulled from our documentation.
Awesome.
But and then you can continue asking questions about it, like what is a service account, and so on. And it's going to do the same thing on the back end. What's happening? This is my orchestration layer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going and taking my prompt and then going and querying my vector database via RAG. And that is what is supplying the chunks of context from the is supplying the chunks of context that's then being passed to the LLM. The LLM is considering all of that when it creates the response, which is output here. And we can do more. We can come over here and I'm going to grab a file. Oh no, it didn't go where I wanted it to. So what I'm taking here is this is Facebook's paper on retrieval augmented generation. Facebook's the one that came out with it. This is the paper that announced the strategy, and it's available online. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it here, and then I'm going to open up a peek under the hood to show you what chunking looks like,
Okay.
to show you how this PDF is chunked. So give me just a moment. I'm going to upload this file, and ta-da! It's uploaded, and I'm not going to infer against it because it's a really big document and that would take forever. But just to show you under the hood what this looks like is we've got custom text. And so we split it out here, and all of these items here, let me find a good one here, is they are chunks of text taken from the PDF. And you've got the page content itself. We use splits from or to evaluate RAG's generations abilities in a non-QA setting. What it does is it took the PDF, it extracted the text from it, and then it took that extracted text and split it into all of these chunks. But if you look, there's the raw page content itself, but there's also, though it's, there we go, I can scroll over. There's also all of this metadata.
Metadata, right.
So we've got the source is, hey, look, the PDF that I just uploaded. And then it has coordinates as to where in the page that it got this chunk from. The file name that exists from source can also be URL in certain cases so that the orchestration layer can know, oh, hey, this is where this chunk came from, and it can provide citations, that sort of thing. And so there's a lot that you can do based on the source content, lots of different kinds of metadata that we've talked about, but just from a random PDF. This is the metadata that it extracted.
This is
And so this
awesome.
is the kind of this is the kind of chunk that would be passed into the LLM in about this format, so that it would know what to work with to augment its existing knowledge.
Awesome. So now that you've uploaded this PDF and it has been chunked, can we query and see what it outputs?
We can, but it would be, let's find out how long this takes. I'm not sure we have enough time for it right now.
Okay,
PDFs are particularly difficult, but we'll see how it goes.
I see.
What is RAG? So it's thinking. generating response. And so right now, what's happening is it just got a whole bunch of chunks and it's sent it off to the LLM. But because there are going to be a lot of hits, there are going to be a lot of matches, it's taking an extra long time to run inference
Okay.
because there are more tokens involved than what there were before.
Makes sense. I think it was important for me to understand what's going on with the new data that just got uploaded. So this is what you meant by inference.
Yes. So inference is the process of asking the LLM for a response. Let's see if this other part works. So now I'm coming over and I'm switching into draft mode. And using the same uploaded context that we already had, I'm going to come in and say, hey, give me a conceptual overview. And no additional instructions. Go. And so now what it's doing is it's iterating through all of the text that it extracted from the uploaded document, and it is applying it to the conceptual overview template that I've defined from the Good Docs project, like I mentioned before.
Yes.
And this is a little bit different than traditional RAG because instead of selecting just a couple of results, it's literally iterating through the entirety of the document. But the point stands, it's still split into chunks. It's processing one chunk at a time, applying it to the template. And here we go.
That's your first draft.
This is my first draft, understanding retrieval augmented language models.
Brilliant.
And so here we go. We've got an overview, subheading. By the end of this article, readers should understand key concepts. And then it goes into each of the necessary subheadings, retriever versus generator, which is effectively retriever is your vector database and the generator is the LLM. And then training and inference in various use cases. And we did it live.
Fantastic. This is great, Manny. Thank you so much for walking us through what you've built. To
My
see this
pleasure.
in action is definitely very rewarding, actually.